Hey everybody, Darren Cross here. This is MBA 652 Organizational Behavior, and we're in Mod 6, and I'm approaching this a little bit differently. Instead of going over the PowerPoint presentations, I am simply just going to give you a little intro video and allow you to look at the video, look at the PowerPoints that are actually attached. I think it's a little bit quicker, and actually I was having some problems with my camera earlier, and so it just kind of took away from my ability to create that PowerPoint, the guided PowerPoint. But I think that this is actually probably a little bit more personal, and I'm just gonna get right to the things that I think we need to talk about with these chapters. So we're in chapter 9 and 10. Chapters 9 and 10 are talking about, number one, communication and the process of communicating and the importance of communicating. And this is a typical communications discussion. You know, you have the sender and the receiver. You have things that you have the message itself, and then you have things that get in the way and create noise and barriers to communication. And then you talk about those things that help people to actually communicate a little bit better. That's increasingly important as we talk about how we behave in teams and how we actually get the message to transmit through teams. You know, what we haven't really discussed at super length here is that what's going on with all of this stuff that we're concerned about is that you have this organization that actually sets a goal, and you have the strategic goal that's set at the highest levels of the organization, and then what you hope is that throughout all the way down to the front line, you're able to get that message through, and that people are actually able to do what you want them to do. So a big part of this is communication. Communication permeates everything. When we're talking about trying to influence people and trying to motivate people, and what happens in the organizational culture and all of those things that actually help people to feel like they want to do that behavior that we're after them to do, communication is a very big part of that. And so chapter 9 is about that. So look over those PowerPoints and the discussion boards as well, and you should be in good shape. Now the other thing is power. This is chapter 10. Power is about really leadership. Power is about being able to influence people to do what you want them to do. And so we're talking about power in chapter 10 and the sources of power and how people actually use power and how that power is actually mitigated by the circumstances of the organization. And that's very, very interesting, because one of the things that we kind of think, well, first of all, remember when we talked about motivation, we talked about the fact that the need for power was one of those motivators in one of those theories. But the other thing is, sometimes people have power and they don't realize it, and they actually didn't even want it. And then one of the things that you learn as well is that power is formal, but also power can be informal. And just because you as an organization may not recognize formally the power that someone has, it doesn't mean that they don't have the power. And it also doesn't mean that you shouldn't pay attention to that, and also probably heed it a little bit and take advantage of it from the standpoint of trying to get done your organizational goals. And so this chapter talks about the sources of the power. You've talked about it before in management, but I think that we'll examine it a little bit at a little bit deeper level here, and we're actually going to talk deeply about that in the discussion boards. So go ahead and look over those two PowerPoint presentations, and like always, if you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me. Good luck, everybody.